This next section talks about spotting people who might have a need that's kind of in your area. You know, we've talked a little bit about people maybe trying to talk themselves into having a conversation. They might be off 15, 20 feet just looking your way. And there's some things that we can do to help draw them in. Let me read this a little bit. It is important to watch people as they come in your general area of connecting point. You can spot people looking your way and greet them with a smile from many feet away. This will help draw them in. You'll see some people who are trying to talk themselves into coming to you, and you'll see them look your way, and then as you make eye contact, they might look away, and then you look at them again, and you catch them looking your way again. You know that there's something going on there, and I always step out to say, hey, and we'll talk about that, but introduce myself and ask them if there's anything that I can help them with. So spotting people. One of the things that we've got to really do, we've emphasized a little bit on some of the other sessions, is be watching for people. Be focused while we're serving and be watching people. Like I say, there'll be people trying to talk themselves into it coming in, but I want to take that a little bit further. I do another seminar where I ask the question, how many needs do you think you walk by in a given day out in the world? At work, at school, at Walmart, how many needs do you think you walk by? I mean, real big needs, and it's a bunch, tons of needs. And then the next question I ask is, how many needs do you think come through our doors each week at the crossing? And you and I know we're the crossing, and we have some people that walk through with some pretty big needs, some pretty heavy loads that they're carrying, and we need to be watching for those people and watching their eyes, their mannerisms, and seeing is there something I can help you with? You see somebody hurting or you just see this, but we have to be focused. And when we're focused and we're looking for that, we can spot those people and we can step out of our area and we can say, hey, is there anything I can do for you? When we see them hurting in some way. So anyway, spotting people that might need help, just be focused on that. This next section is pretty cool. It talks about spotting guests. That's not our primary purpose in Connecting Point. We do have lobby greeters who are trained to spot guests. We do have guest services who are also trained to spot guests. And we're trying to kind of scale up our guest services at our campuses so that a guest can quickly and easily spot it, and it looks good and it's staffed well. So a lot of those guests are going to be taken care of, but still there might be some guests that come walking through that we can also help spot. So I want to encourage you to be looking for these as well. Depending on where your connecting point is, like Tony was talking about in one of the earlier sessions, it's different at all the campuses. So what we're going to talk about here might not apply so much because I know some, like maybe at Hannibal, where it's down front in the stage area. This really, won't apply there. But as a connecting point person, whether you're staffed or not, if you're trained in this, then as you're in the lobby, as you're at church, you're just naturally going to be able to spot those first-timers. And it is great to be able to step up to a first-timer and say, hey, hi, how are you? My name's Tony. Mm-hmm. And man, it's good to see you here. Let me throw this out in case it isn't in the training, but I think it is. We don't want to say, so are you new to the crossing, because they may have been coming 6 months. And I think this does come out later. The question we want to ask is, so how long have you been coming to the crossing? It's a safe one. They might say it's my first time. They might say I've been here 6 times. And it's like, great, and we'll, get into that conversation.
Yeah, just add, you don't have to be wearing a lanyard.
Right.
Now, as you own this and you start to see guests and you see how important they are, you don't have to be volunteering that day to greet somebody.
Right.
Everybody deserves to be greeted. So if you're training your eyes and your eyes are peeled and you're looking, you can always be greeting guests. It doesn't just have to be while you're volunteering.
Very good. Thanks for adding that in there, Tony. Okay, spotting guests. We start by how do you spot regulars? What do they do? Usually a regular, there's no hesitation. They come through the door and they just keep right on walking, and you can tell that they know exactly where they're going. If they've got kids and they come in and they turn the corner and head into the kids area, that's just a sign that this is a regular. There's no looking around. They might connect with people as they come into the lobby and, hey, how are you doing? And you can tell, okay, they have a connection with somebody, even if they are new, they've got a good connection, but most likely, they're just people and they've come in, they're starting to see their friends and interact with their friends. For the others, and I guess it would apply for you as well, but we really teach lobby greeters to do this, is once you've identified this person as a regular, then you can take your eyes off of them and focus somewhere else. And you don't have to keep watching that person. Now, as they come closer to you, you're going to greet them and love on them. But you can go, okay, that's a regular, so you can go looking for other people and watching their eyes. Now, the next one is how do we spot guests? How do they behave? Watch for their flags. They wave very big flags. I would say the biggest thing that we need to do is watch their eyes. The deer in the headlights, or, as they come in and they're unfamiliar with the place. A couple of things they might do. They might not move their head a lot, but they might move their eyes and kind of looking around because they don't want to be obvious that I'm a new person here. It's like you go to New York and you can tell the tourists, they're really gawking around. And I think people will more likely, move their head and look around from what I'm seeing, but be aware that there might be some people that are just a little shifty-eyed. I love it when you go to the Hannibal campus because it's Orpheum Theater and you can tell the new people. It's like, oh man, they're just looking around. But they do that at all the campuses as well. This is probably a big one. Kids will be clingy. They'll hang on to your leg and stay close to you. Guests, I think, will hesitate while they get their bearings. Usually they'll come in a ways and just off the entrance, they might shuffle their feet and take their coats off and just kind of do something busy while they're scoping the place out, trying to figure out where do I need to go from here. They're more likely to maybe stand against a wall or kind of stay off to one side as they maneuver through. They might ask a question or directions. This is one I've seen missed in the past, but it's a very obvious one. If somebody says, hey, can I take coffee into the auditorium? What's that tell you about the person? It's either first time or they're pretty new because, we have people going in all the time and it's obvious that that's an okay thing to do. Or they might come out going, where's a restroom? Or where's the kids at where or what? Or any of those questions tells you this is a relatively new person. And so that's when I would say, hey, and my name is, and your name is, so how long have you been coming here? And they're going to tell you, and it's like, and then you can get into a conversation and give testimony about how, what you love most about the crossing or me and whatever. Okay, keep going. They might be carrying a VIP folder. This is something they get in guest services and maybe also in the children's check-in area. A nice big 9-inch by 6-inch VIP folder that they've received tells you that this is a new person. So if you see someone walking around with one of those, be sure to love on them. They might be dressed up. If they ask a question, know that they're probably new or newish. I think we covered that one, Tony. Mm-hmm. Once you think you've identified the guest, continue to watch for necessary confirmation. And if you see somebody come in, they're throwing up some of these flags, just continue to watch them as they walk through for a little ways, and you're going to see, I think this is a new person. And if there's any inkling in your mind that this might be a new person, it's great to go say hi to them and say, I don't think we've met. My name is. So how long have you been coming to the crossing? And get in those conversations and love on them. So I think, let me just throw this last one in since it is just one sentence. If somebody comes into Connecting Point, we want men to work with men and women to work with women if at all possible. I know sometimes it doesn't work out that way, and we're still effective. It still works, but it's just better if we can do it that way. All right, so that's our session on spotting guests. Hope you enjoyed. I expect you to spot some guests this weekend. Go love on them. All right, thanks.